Have you ever stood at the edge of a vast ocean, watching the waves crash relentlessly against the shore, and felt that same unstoppable force wearing down your own spirit? Perhaps it's the sting of a recent loss, the relentless pressure of financial worries in your golden years, or the subtle erosion of enthusiasm as retirement brings unexpected emptiness. Life, especially as we navigate our 50s, 60s, and beyond, has a knack for testing our resolve in ways we never anticipated. But let me assure you, dear friend, that the secret to staying motivated isn't some elusive magic. It's a set of timeless principles you can embrace right now. These aren't quick fixes or superficial pep talks. They're deep, practical insights drawn from the lives of real people who've walked the fire and emerged stronger. Today, I'll guide you through 4 profound secrets that will help you reignite that inner flame, no matter how fierce the storm. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll not only feel inspired, but equipped with tools to transform your toughest days into stepping stones for a more fulfilling life. Let's begin with the first secret: embracing challenges as opportunities for profound personal growth. You know, it's all too common in our middle years to view obstacles as insurmountable barriers, roadblocks that signal it's time to slow down or give up. But what if I told you that these very trials are a forge where your character is tempered, much like a blacksmith shapes iron through heat and hammering? This perspective shift requires us to reframe our mindset. Instead of asking, why me, we start asking, what can I learn from this? It's about recognizing that growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It blooms in the fertile ground of adversity. When we embrace challenges, we tap into a reservoir of resilience that builds over time, turning potential defeats into victories of the spirit. This isn't about denying the pain or pretending everything's fine. Far from it. It's about acknowledging the hardship, while actively seeking the silver lining, the lesson that propels us forward. To illustrate, let's delve into the story of Margaret, a 58-year-old former schoolteacher from a quiet suburb in Ohio. Margaret had built her life around her family, but when her husband of 35 years passed away suddenly from a heart condition, her world shattered. The grief was overwhelming. Mornings felt like climbing a mountain just to face the day. Bills accumulated. The house echoed with silence, and her once vibrant motivation dwindled to a flicker. Friends suggested she move on, but that felt impossible. Then, one rainy afternoon, while sorting through old photo albums, Margaret stumbled upon a quote from a book her husband loved. "Adversity introduces a man to himself." It struck her deeply. She decided to embrace her challenge not as a curse, but as an invitation to grow. Starting small, she enrolled in a grief support workshop, where she shared her story and listened to others. This led her to volunteer at the local library, organizing story hours for children, a role that reminded her of her teaching days and connected her with young lives full of potential. Over the months, Margaret's pain didn't vanish, but it evolved. She discovered a newfound empathy, using her experiences to mentor other widows in her community. Today, she leads a thriving book club for those who've lost loved ones, and she often says, "That dark time didn't break me. It revealed the strength I always had inside." Margaret's journey shows us that by embracing challenges, we don't just survive. We evolve into wiser, more compassionate versions of ourselves. So, ask yourself, what challenge in your life right now could be your greatest teacher? Now, on to the second secret. Reconnect with your deepest why, that fundamental purpose that fuels your soul and gives meaning to every step. As we age, it's easy for the noise of daily life to drown out this inner compass. Careers that once defined us may fade, children grow independent, and we might find ourselves adrift, wondering what it's all for. But motivation isn't sustained by external rewards alone. It thrives when aligned with your core values and passions, the things that make your heart beat a little faster. Reconnecting with your why is like dusting off an old map to a treasure you've always known was there. It involves quiet reflection, journaling about what truly matters, revisiting past joys, or even seeking counsel from trusted friends. This process reignites a sense of direction, turning vague dissatisfaction into purposeful action. When life's tough, this why becomes your anchor, reminding you that every struggle is part of a larger, meaningful narrative. Imagine Harold, a 62-year-old accountant from a bustling town in the UK. For over 40 years, Harold had climbed the corporate ladder, providing for his family but sacrificing his true love, woodworking. The long hours left little time for the workshop in his garage, where he'd once crafted beautiful pieces as a young man. Then, the pandemic struck, and redundancy notice arrived like a thunderbolt. Suddenly jobless, Harold grappled with isolation and a creeping sense of irrelevance. His motivation plummeted as days blurred into one another. Lying awake one night, he reflected on his life. The promotions he'd chased, the vacations postponed, the dreams deferred. He asked himself probing questions. What brings me joy? What legacy do I want to leave for my grandchildren? The answer pointed back to woodworking. With tentative steps, Harold cleared out his garage and began small projects. A birdhouse here, a jewelry box there. As word spread, neighbors commissioned pieces, and soon he had a modest business. But more than the income, it was a fulfillment. The scent of fresh wood, the satisfaction of creation, the connections formed over shared stories. Harold's reconnection with his why not only pulled him through the darkness, but transformed his retirement into a vibrant second act. He now mentors young apprentices, passing on skills and wisdom. Harold teaches us that no matter how lost we feel, our why is always within reach, waiting to guide us home. What is your why, and how can you honor it today? Our third secret is building small, daily rituals that cultivate lasting momentum. In the face of life's upheavals, grand overhauls can seem daunting. Our energy reserves aren't infinite as we enter our later decades. Yet, true motivation is forged in the quiet consistency of habits, not in sporadic bursts of effort. These rituals act as gentle rhythms, like the steady tick of grandfather clock, providing structure and progress amid chaos. Start with something manageable, a morning gratitude practice, a brief stretch routine, or even a nightly reflection on one win from the day. The key is repetition. Over time, these accumulate like compound interest, yielding exponential growth in your motivation and well-being. They create positive feedback loops, where each small success reinforces your drive, making it easier to persist when times are tough. Consider Elaine, a dedicated 55-year-old nurse from Sydney, Australia, who balanced grueling hospital shifts with caring for her elderly parents. The demands were relentless, long nights, emotional exhaustion, and little time for self-care. When a particularly intense wave of burnout hit, leaving her demotivated and questioning her career, Elaine felt trapped in a cycle of fatigue. Friends urged drastic changes, like quitting her job, but that wasn't feasible. Instead, she focused on micro-rituals. Each morning, she spent 5 minutes meditating with a cup of herbal tea, breathing deeply and affirming her strength. In the evenings, she'd walk around her block for 15 minutes, listening to soothing podcasts on personal growth. On weekends, she'd dedicate an hour to journaling about patient stories that touched her, reconnecting with her passion for healing. These weren't revolutionary, but they were sustainable. Gradually, Elaine's energy returned. The rituals became non-negotiable anchors that boosted her resilience. She even shared them with colleagues, fostering a support network at work. Now, years later, Elaine credits these habits with not only sustaining her through crises, but elevating her overall life satisfaction. Her story underscores that motivation isn't about Herculean feats. It's about the power of small, intentional actions repeated faithfully. What simple ritual could you introduce tomorrow to build your momentum? Finally, the fourth secret, leaning on your community for shared strength and encouragement. Humans are inherently social beings, yet in tough times, we often withdraw, shouldering burdens in solitude. This isolation can extinguish motivation faster than anything. But reaching out, whether to family, friends, or support groups, creates a web of support that distributes the weight, allowing light to seep in. It's about vulnerability, sharing your struggles openly and offering help in return. Community provides perspective, accountability, and sometimes practical advice, turning individual battles into collective triumphs. In our 50s and beyond, these connections become even more vital, offering companionship in life's transitions like empty nests or health changes. Visualize Robert, a proud 60-year-old military veteran from rural Texas. After decades of service, retirement hit like an ambush. The structure of army life vanished, replaced by quiet days that amplified his underlying depression. Motivation to pursue hobbies or even maintain his home waned. He felt adrift, questioning his worth outside uniform. Attempts to tough it out alone only deepened the fog. Then, a fellow veteran invited him to a local retirees group. Reluctantly, Robert attended, sharing fragments of his story around a table of understanding faces. Hearing echoes of his experiences in others' tales was revelatory. It normalized his feelings and sparked hope. Inspired, he proposed starting a hiking club within the group. Those weekly treks through Texas trails became more than exercise. They were therapy sessions on foot, filled with laughter, shared memories, and mutual encouragement. Robert's motivation surged as he led outings, drawing on his leadership skills. Today, the club has grown, and Robert facilitates mental health discussions, helping others as he's been helped. His transformation highlights how community doesn't just support us. It amplifies our inner fire, making us stronger together. Who in your circle could you lean on, or how might you build new connections? As we come to a close, I invite you to pause and breathe deeply, letting these secrets settle into your heart. Reflect quietly. Which one? Embracing challenges, reconnecting with your why, building daily rituals, or leaning on community. Stir something within you most profoundly. Picture yourself applying it in the coming days and feel the subtle shift toward renewed motivation. Your experiences matter, so please share in the comments what resonated with you, or what's a personal challenge you're ready to tackle with these tools. Reading your stories not only inspires me, but connects us all in this shared human journey. If this video has kindled even a spark in you, I'd be grateful if you'd like it. Subscribe for more thoughtful explorations into life's wisdom, and share it with a loved one who might need this gentle nudge. Together, we can spread this light further. Thank you for joining me. May your path ahead be filled with motivation and peace. Take care.